So UFC Fight Night Steve Garcia versus David Onama took place yesterday, and overall, it was a semi-decent card. There were some controversial decisions on the card. There was even a fight that was possibly rigged that was on the card. There were some nice knockouts as well, but we're not going to be talking about the card itself. We're going to be talking about the fights to make next for all of the fighters that I'm showing on the screen right now. We're not going to, if the fight's not close to the fucking rankings, I'm not going to be talking about it. But if it's a hot prospect or someone that could possibly be in the rankings soon, we're going to talk about it. So Tony has died. I'm going to be matchmaking every single fight after UFC Fight Night Steve Garcia versus David Onama. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do all that YouTube shit. And let's get straight into the video, all right? The first person we need to talk about is Steve Garcia. Dude, I'm telling you, I feel like Steve Garcia is like the new Dustin Poirier. He TKOs people, he throws volume, he goes out there, he hunts the fucking finish, he walks forward no matter what. And except, he actually has decent grappling and ground and pound compared to Poirier. But I think, I just think that he's going to be the next Poirier of this division where he just brings violence to all of his fights. He's going to be in the rankings for a while. He looked very good and he just cut through David Onama with ease. Now, who should he fight next? I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, he should fight Youssef Zalal next, who is one of David Onama's teammates. Or he should fight Josh Emmett next. But I think that he has kind of surpassed those people because he's on a 7-fight win streak. 2 of his opponents have been in the rankings. And he's getting fun fights. He's dropping his opponents. He's knocking his opponents out. So I think we need to reward him more than Zalal or Emmett, Emmett's coming off of a big slide. I honestly think Emmett needs to be fed to somebody who, who deserves to get a ranked opponent. I don't think that Steve Garcia versus Emmett makes a lot of sense. And I think that Zalal also needs to fight up. And I think that Zalal and Garcia are kind of in the same position, but I think they don't need to fight each other. I think they both need to fight up. And so when we look at the rest of the title picture, obviously the person who's going to get the title shot is either Movzar or it's Rowe Murphy. We don't know who's going to get it yet. But whoever doesn't get that will fight Diego Lopez. So whoever doesn't get the title shot against Volk will end up fighting Diego Lopez. And so that just leaves one guy out at the top of the division. Mr. Aljamain Sterling, who's coming off of a very lackluster decision against Brian Ortega. Not lackluster per se. I mean, he dominated the fight. He won every single round. Hit Ortega with some spinning elbows. He beat him on the feet, but I wasn't really impressed with what I saw out of Aljo, completely honest. Like Ortega missed weight, had a really bad weight cut. I don't think that we need to reward Aljo with another top 5 ranked opponent, unless it's Yair. But I don't even want to consider Yair in this fucking equation. I think they should do Yair versus Arnold Allen or something. And that's the other thing. I would say Arnold Allen versus Garcia, but where the fuck is Arnold Allen? This division, Yair and Allen are ducking people. So I think that they will fight each other. And I think that Aljo is going to try to want to get back in there against a young prospect. I think that this makes a lot of sense. And stylistically, I think Steve Garcia has what it takes to beat former champion Aljamain Sterling at this stage in his career. So I think this would be a fun fight, grappler versus striker. But Steve Garcia's got some grappling in his back pocket as well, so don't count him out, all right? The next fighter we need to talk about is David Onama, who, let's be frank, looked fucking pathetic out there. He got dog walked, and I was saying this the whole fight week that I thought that he was a fraud. And it really showed. He got a fight against the fucking Giga Chikadze on a 3-fight losing streak after beating nobodies. And I'm dude, I don't think Onama's all that. I've seen him get dropped by a lesser competition. I think someone with the power of Steve Garcia is going to cut through him. And he did. And so, for those reasons, I think that he should fight Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood is on a 7-fight win streak. Now, his last fight against Jose Delgado, I think was a robbery. I think Delgado should have got it. But I still think that Wood deserves a shot into the rankings because he's had a couple of bad robberies go against him in the past. And he's the one who got his hand raised ultimately. Okay, at the end of the day, he did beat Delgado even though it was a robbery. So we have to match make in the idea that Nathaniel Wood is going to be getting a shot into the rankings. I don't think Onama deserves to be ranked. And so I think that Nathaniel Wood, who deserves a shot into the rankings, who's super entertaining, who I think Onama needs to prove that he can overcome these high-pressure fighters. It will be interesting, though. It's a fair fight for both guys. It's not like this is just an easy W for Nathaniel Wood. Onama has knocked people out cold in the past who haven't had haven't really shown that they deserve to be up there. But he folds the pressure. Nathaniel Wood's high pressure. But Nathaniel Wood gets dropped in every fight, so will Onama be able to drop Wood and beat him, or will Nathaniel Wood be able to put the pressure on Onama and fold him out? So I think that this is a fun fight. I think it makes sense both ways. So yeah, I'd like to see Onama versus Nathaniel Wood. The next fight we need to talk about is Mr. Where's Waldo Cortez Acosta, who knocked out Ante Delija after getting illegally eye poked, fought through the eye poke, and knocked out Ante Delija. And it's a kind of weird situation for Waldo, because he lost to Pavlovich, but Pavlovich is so fucking good and underrated. And we have seen, I was starting to think that Waldo kind of sucked, but I think that with that Pavlovich performance not getting finished by Pavlovich, I think he has a very good chin. He showed adversity in this fight. This was the first time I was really impressed with Cortez Acosta, who's had some sketchy performances in the past, but in this fight, he really showed that he has evolved from what he has in the past, right? I think he should fight Curtis Razor Blades, who is coming off of a fucking controversial decision against Rizvan Kuniev. I just think Blades is done. He looked horrible in that fight. Let's be frank. He did not look good in that fucking fight at all. And we need more contenders at heavyweight. I think Volkov is going to get the title shot next. The title picture for heavyweight is confusing because we all want Pereira to fight Aspinall, but Pereira wants to fight John Jones. John Jones wants to fight Pereira. So I honestly think that is what might happen. I don't want it to happen. I would like to see Pereira versus Aspinall, but obviously we have to run the Gane-Aspinall rematch first. So Gane and Aspinall booked up against each other. And I think that Volkov has done enough to get the title shot, okay? And so I think Volkov will be next in line to fight Aspinall, all right? On the other hand, I don't want to see Gelton Almeida just lay on top of Waldo Cortez Acosta, all right? I want to see contenders present themselves in this division. And so I want to see Almeida fight someone down in the rankings. And I don't know who, but I want to see him fight down, not even, Because he's been putting on these stinkfest performances, like the fucking Lewis fight and now the Volkov fight. And so I want to see Almeida fight down. And so I think that this is the fight next, that Curtis Blades, who arguably should have lost to Rizvan Kuniev, who has been knocked out in the past, I think that this is a fun fight that can showcase Waldo Cortez Acosta at the top of this division and present a new contender for whoever wins the fucking title fights to fight. So I think Waldo versus Blades is a fun fight. The next fight we need to talk about is Ante Delija, who looked good in this fight. I thought that Waldo was winning the round even before the eye poke, but he did look good. Ante Delija is a good heavyweight. He walked through, I think it was Spivak. I always get Spivak and Tybura mixed up, but I'm pretty sure it was Spivak. He walked through him with ease. No, it was Tybura. Wait, it doesn't fucking matter. He's a good heavyweight, and I think that he should fight Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis, he's on a 2-fight win streak. He just knocked out Taliesin Teixeira in the first round. Kind of a weird knockout because of the fence grab with Teixeira, but I think that this makes a lot of sense for both guys. Delija, he's 1-1 in the UFC. I don't think we can really match him up with someone even. He was lucky to get a ranked opponent in his debut. He didn't have to fight through all the rankings. Got a ranked opponent in his debut, beat him. Derek Lewis, he's on a 2-fight win streak. I think that you could sell this fight any way you slice it. And yeah, man, Derek Lewis, he's got name value to him versus Ante Delija. I think that makes a lot of sense. It will be fun for both guys, all right? The next guy we need to talk about is Thimba Garimbo. This guy fucking sucks, bro. He's just not good. I was saying this, I'm really mad that I didn't pick Jeremiah Wells, bro. Because I was like, man, if he was fighting anybody else, I would be picking against Garimbo, but it seemed like this was like a matchup that the UFC wanted Garimbo to win, and that's why they matched him up against Wells, because Wells lost to fucking Max Griffin, you know? And so I see the Max Griffin fight from Wells, and I'm like, there's no way I'm picking Wells. So, but he lost. Thimba Garimbo lost. And tell me that this isn't a hilarious matchup. Charles Radtke versus Thimba Garimbo. This is like a meme matchup that is waiting to be fucking construed. Thimba got a shot into the rankings against Luque, got Darst. Radtke got a shot into the rankings against Mallet, and he lost to Prates as well. Those are the two people that he fought that were good. So he's only beaten people, he's only lost to people that are bad. I think this makes a sense for both guys. Both guys fought on the card as well. So timeline-wise, I think they'll be matched up. Radtke, he did the UFC a favor fighting Mallet in Canada. I think he deserves to get another easy fight. And it makes sense for both guys, so let's do it. The next fight that we need to talk about is, I just said his name, Jeremiah Wells. Wells, he beat Thimba Garimbo. I think that this is a fun fight to make. Don't ask me why I used the PFL shorts for Chris Curtis. But Chris the Crybaby Curtis versus Jeremiah Wells. Chris Curtis has now moved down to welterweight. He just beat Max Griffin in a split decision. Shouldn't have been a split decision. He beat Max Griffin clearly. I think that we should get Chris Curtis another easy fight because he's been taking a lot of hard fights, man. He fought fucking Brendan Allen. He fought Kopylov. He fought, he's fought a lot of these hard ranked middleweights. Now he's moved down to welterweight. He's done the UFC a lot of favors. Let's get him another easy W. Chris Curtis versus Jeremiah Wells. Let's see it. The next fight we need to talk about is Alan Nasimento, who got a good submission over Cody Durden after facing a lot of adversity easy. I think that Alan Nasimento has proven that he should be a ranked fighter and he deserves a shot into the rankings. He called out Steve Erceg in his post-fight interview, and I like the matchup. Steve Erceg, he's on a 1-fight win streak, but let's be honest, if we had the judges for Almeida versus Volkov judging the O'Day versus Erceg fight, Erceg would have lost on damage. O'Day Osborne dropped Steve Erceg in that fight. He out-damaged him in round 3, I think, and Erceg just held him down and didn't really do much. He just laid on top of O'Day. And so I think Erceg, who has been getting a lot of Dana White privilege in his last couple of fights, gets a title shot off of Matt Schnell. Then he gets a fucking number 1 contender fight against Kai Kara France. And then he gets a main event against Moreno. And then he gets a layup against O'Day. I think it's time for Erceg to fight some real opposition. Alan Nasimento has got a slick submission grappling game. Let's see it, man. Let's fucking just see it, man. Erceg, he needs to prove that he's a ranked fighter. I think it makes sense. The call out was good. The next fighter we need to talk about is Billy Elakana. Bro, I got fucking tricked. Because I was talking about Billy Elakana looking at my fucking Instagram after the fight. And I realized that the Billy Elakana that was looking at my Instagram and talking to me wasn't even the real Billy Elakana. It was a fucking fake Billy Elakana account. It ended up getting deleted yesterday. So I was talking to some fucking random guy thinking it was Billy Elakana. But yeah, he's now 2-1 in the UFC. Really, really good win, even though the guy he was facing was literally probably one of the worst fighters on the roster. He did what a good fighter would do to that person. I think he should fight Umar Sy. Umar Sy, French prospect, coming off of a loss over, I don't know who it was. I think it was it Minifield? Yeah, I think it was Minifield. He's coming off a loss against Minifield where he just didn't do very much. He got fraud checked. He had a lot of hype going into that fight. I think Elakana has proven that he can be an entertaining fighter, even though he had that stinker against Ebo. I think that this fight makes a lot of sense. A guy who got fraud checked in his last fight versus a guy that's proven that he's a good fighter. So, Umar Sy versus Billy Elakana, that's something that I'd love to see, man. The next fighter we need to talk about is the guy who beat Cedric Dumas, whose name is, don't tell me, Dante Johnson. Dante Johnson. I've seen some people saying they want to see him fight like fucking Marvin Vettori. Like he's only 1-0, 2-0 in the UFC. Like let's pump the fucking brakes on that, bro. Like let's do some prospect building. Dante Johnson, he proved he's not just a fucking clubber. He went out there and got a subber, clubber subber. Now he submitted Cedric Demas. Let's get him another easy matchup, bro. Cody Brundage. I don't know if Cody Brundage has like a fight booked or something, but let's just get another easy W for Dante Johnson. Cody Brundage, yeah, bro. The next fighter we need to talk about, we got the Korean Tyson, who we should really be calling like the Korean Khabib, the Korean, I don't even know, like the Korean Colby Covington, the Korean Usman. Like this guy is not a knockout artist. Well, he was on the regional scene, but we haven't really seen a lot of knockouts. And let me show you this, bro. Don't hate me for this, bro. Don't hate me for this, bro. Vicente Luque versus Korean Tyson. Okay? Vicente Luque, he does not look himself anymore. He's just dropped out of the rankings. He's probably around the 25 spot in the rankings now. I would like to see Korean Tyson, who beat Ben Elliott, who was a hyped up prospect, and now he just beat Phil Rowe, who's been a crafty kind of vet, kind of crafty like journeyman type guy who gives hard fights to everybody. He walked through Phil Rowe with ease. Made it look easy against Ben and made it look easy against Phil Rowe. I like these performances from Korean Tyson, who's kind of like, he's like the only hope that's left for fucking South Korea, bro. So I think Vicente Luque, who has good grappling, could pose some issues to this young guy who's not as experienced. I'd like to see this fight mostly because I want to see what this guy, who's called the Korean Tyson, I'd like to see what he can do on the feet. I'd like to see this fight on the feet a little bit. So let's see Korean Tyson versus Vicente Luque. The next fight we need to talk about is Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe, why he looks so fucking mad in this picture. He knows he lost. Like he took his, look at him, look how fucking sad Phil Rowe looks in this picture. It literally looks like someone just told him his girlfriend cheated on him. Phil Rowe. I think that Phil Rowe, he just needs to like get a fun fight. Like, I don't want to see Phil Rowe take on the fucking next coming of Jesus Christ. I want to see Phil Rowe just have a fun fight, and let's get him the CEO of fucking fun fights. The guy, the nonchalant CEO, Kevin Holland, coming off of a loss against Malott, coming off of a loss against D-Rod. He's on a 2-fight skid. I think the UFC is going to be like jumping to make this kind of matchup. They're both super tall, lanky fighters. And I think we can get Kevin Holland back into the win streak, which is always good because this is a weird thing that I've noticed. Casuals know who Kevin Holland is. Like, I don't know if they think he's like Deadpool or some shit. But like you think out of all the fighters that like a random casual would know, Kevin Holland wouldn't be one of them. But he is. Like, these people that don't watch the sport know who Kevin Holland is. We need to get Kevin Holland back in the win column. He fights so often. Phil Rowe, he really didn't take much damage. He just got whooped on the fucking ground. So let's see that fight. And the final fight we need to talk about, Norma Dumont. She's coming off of a robbery. I'm going to be honest, I don't think she won the fight. I think she got clearly destroyed. Not destroyed, but it was a close fight. I thought she lost. I don't think we should get the title picture for her yet. Where is fucking Shark Tale at? Where is the fucking fish from Shark Tale, Juliana Pena at? We need to see her return. This is a number 1 contender fight. For some reason, the UFC loves Juliana Pena. Literally, why? I don't fucking get it. Like, why does Juliana Pena just have the infinite title shot glitch? Who fucking knows? Bro, I just want to see Juliana Pena lose, so let's see it. All right. But that will do it for the video. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit. Thank you guys so much for watching. And we gotta, this next week, we got another bad fight night we gotta talk about. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.